Everyone, how's it going? Part 9, let's do this. So, today's verses, Mark 11, verses 13 to 14, and then we jump down to verses 20 to 21. So Mark 11:13, and seeing a fig tree afar off, having leaves, he came, if haply he might find anything thereon. When he came to it, he found nothing but leaves, for the time of figs was not yet. Jesus answered and said unto it, No man eat fruit of thee hereafter forever. And his disciples heard it. Then we'll jump down to 20. And in the morning, as they passed by, they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots. Peter, calling to remember him, saith unto him, Master, behold, the fig tree which thou cursed is withered away. So let's jump back to 13. And seeing a fig tree afar off, having leaves, he came, if haply he might find anything thereon. And when he came to it, he found nothing but leaves, for the time of figs was not yet. So, why was Jesus looking for fruit on a fig tree that weren't in the time that it should be giving fruit? Well, not being a gardener or a fig tree expert, I had a little look into this, and apparently a fig tree bears these little fruit, sort of, they called it something like embryonic. So it's like a small baby fig, I would imagine, little green fig that comes before leaves and stays during time it leaves, and then matures into a proper fig. So when Jesus saw leaves on tree, he expected to find some fruit. And there were no fruit. So the fact that these little precursor embryonic figs weren't there means that fig tree ain't going to give no fruit. And this is why you have to understand in through like Old Testament, I think maybe Jeremiah, a fig tree's symbolic to Israel, an healthy, fruitful fig tree is like a blessing, a prosperity. Israel's good in the eyes of God. But like a dead fig tree withered away, no fruit, that's like symbolizing God's rejection and judgment. So Jesus curses it and says, you'll bear no fruit. But this is a problem with cherry picking that goes off, you see. We've lost all this context in between 14 and verse 20. What goes off is Jesus goes in temple, finds out money changers there, and basically cleanses temple. And then disciples next day walk past this fig tree and it's all withered, and they're like, whoa, look at that, master. It's like it's withered away instantly, which would have took time. So the correlation between the fig tree that Jesus found no fruit on and it being withered away is like a symbolic. It's a symbolism of coming judgment of Israel, and then Jesus is physically in the temple, telling them basically that, like, you're not bearing any fruit. You claim to worship God, but there's no fruit. So that's basically what's being said here. It's just because there's this mention of fig tree in this verse, and then there's a mention of fig tree, but when you see a fig tree in leaf and that, that the season's at hand. Or Matthew 24:34, is it? Something like that. A bit further. Lesson of the fig tree. This is not the same, This is symbology that Israel's going to be judged, and also Jesus in temple cleansing it, which means that, so not really anything to do with when Jesus returned or not. I don't really know why you're offering these verses up as like some kind of defence for Satan's little season. Really not. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you on the next one.